I went to a party last Saturday night. I didn't get laid. I got in a fight. It ain't no big thing. Late for my job and the traffic was bad. Had to borrow $10 from my old man. It ain't no big thing. But I know what I like. I know I like dancing with you. Lita Ford's Kiss Me Deadly, released in 1988 as part of her Lita album, stands as one of the most iconic hard rock anthems of the late 1980s. A pioneer of women in rock and heavy metal, Ford rose to fame as the lead guitarist of the Runaways before embarking on a successful solo career. Kiss Me Deadly captures the spirit of rebelliousness and defiance that defined both Ford's career and the era of glam metal, blending catchy hooks with raw, unapologetic energy. On the surface, the song is a story of late-night parties, fights, and fleeting moments of connection, with Ford's edgy, confident vocals driving the narrative. But beneath the track's rebellious rock exterior, Kiss Me Deadly touches on deeper philosophical themes of frustration, desire, and recklessness. The lyrics present a protagonist caught in a cycle of dissatisfaction with the mundanity of life, seeking escape through moments of reckless pleasure and danger. As we dive into the philosophical underpinnings of the song, we'll explore how Ford's lyrics express a profound struggle between existential frustration, the pursuit of fleeting pleasures, and the inevitability of reckless actions. By examining the song through a triadic lens of frustration, desire, and recklessness, we'll uncover the deeper insights Kiss Me Deadly offers on the human condition and the search for meaning in a world of chaotic, uncontrollable forces. In Nights of Chaos, Lost in Flight, where frustration meets desire's bite, a reckless kiss, a deadly game, we chase the thrill, we fan the flame. Through fleeting joys and fights we choose, yet in the end, we're bound to lose. The cycle turns, the struggle stays, in search of meaning through the haze. Frustration is expressed repeatedly in the song as a driving force behind the protagonist's actions, emerging from a series of mundane yet emotionally draining circumstances. The opening lines, "I went to a party last Saturday night, I didn't get laid, I got in a fight," encapsulate this initial frustration, rooted not only in the unmet expectation of sexual gratification, but also in the disruptive chaos of a violent encounter. Frustration further deepens with the recurring refrain, "It ain't no big thing," a phrase that, while outwardly dismissive, underscores a deeper discontent, revealing the protagonist's attempt to downplay the accumulation of life's disappointments. This verbal dismissal of pain suggests a numbed detachment from the struggles, implying a philosophical acceptance of suffering as a natural part of existence, while also pointing to a potential resignation toward life's lack of control. Desire, however, runs parallel to this frustration, functioning as the protagonist's means of temporary escape from an otherwise tedious reality. The line, "But I know what I like. I know I like dancing with you," reveals that even amidst dissatisfaction, the character finds fleeting joy in the simplicity of human connection, specifically through the pleasure of dance and the thrill of intimacy. Desire here operates not only as a longing for personal gratification, but also as a response to frustration's persistence. It is an active attempt to seize moments of pleasure, however ephemeral, to stave off the overwhelming sense of futility. This is evident when the protagonist declares, "I know you like dancing with me," asserting a mutuality in shared desires, but underlying these desires is a more profound, almost existential need to assert agency over an otherwise uncontrollable life, a brief rebellion against frustration. Recklessness, as the culmination of both frustration and desire, takes on a pivotal role in the protagonist's response to life's frustrations. Recklessness is expressed most vividly in the chorus, "Kiss me once, kiss me twice, come on pretty baby, kiss me deadly," where the imperative tone suggests an urgency to transcend the ordinary. The term "kiss me deadly" symbolizes a desire not just for affection, but for something far more dangerous and intense, an embrace of risk that temporarily negates the protagonist's feelings of powerlessness. This recklessness is further reinforced in the line, "Had a few beers getting high, sitting watching the time go by," where intoxication becomes a metaphor for the protagonist's willingness to surrender control in pursuit of fleeting moments of escapism. By engaging in dangerous behavior, the character creates a temporary buffer against the ennui of daily existence, suggesting a deeper philosophical stance where risk and pleasure become necessary counterweights to the oppressive nature of routine. As these elements reinforce each other, we observe a cyclical pattern in which frustration perpetually leads to desire, and desire, when unfulfilled or transient, results in increasingly reckless actions. The protagonist's repeated utterance, "It ain't no big thing," highlights the internalized acceptance of this cyclical existence, as if acknowledging that frustration is a permanent fixture of life, and that desire, while momentarily satisfying, inevitably gives way to recklessness as a coping mechanism. In this cycle, recklessness does not offer lasting resolution. Instead, it is a temporary respite that ultimately loops back into further frustration, as the same problems and dissatisfactions resurface after the thrill subsides. This cyclical relationship between the triads mirrors philosophical perspectives on the nature of human desire and the futility of its satisfaction, akin to the existentialist notion that life's inherent frustrations are unavoidable. Like Sisyphus eternally pushing his rock uphill, the protagonist in Kiss Me Deadly continues to move from frustration to desire to recklessness, only to find themselves back where they began, still caught in the throes of dissatisfaction. The refrain of "It ain't no big thing" becomes a sort of anthem for this existential resignation, where each attempt to escape frustration through reckless pleasure proves ultimately ineffective in resolving the deeper sense of alienation from life's meaning. Through the repetition of these patterns, the song also presents a critique of the fleeting nature of pleasure and the inability of desire to offer sustained happiness. The line, "Looking in the mirror don't get it for me," suggests a moment of introspection, where the protagonist recognizes the insufficiency of external pleasures or even self-reflection to alleviate their deeper dissatisfaction. The metaphor of the mirror may represent an internal struggle with self-awareness, where the protagonist comes to terms with the fact that reckless indulgence fails to provide long-term fulfillment. This mirrors philosophical discussions about the nature of desire, where fulfilling one desire only gives birth to new cravings, perpetuating an endless cycle of longing that never fully resolves. In this sense, desire becomes both a motivating force and a trap. It is the means through which the protagonist temporarily escapes the reality of their frustrations, but it is also the force that pulls them back into recklessness when satisfaction proves elusive. The invitation to Kiss Me Deadly is a perfect embodiment of this dynamic, as it suggests that the protagonist seeks not just affection, but a form of intimacy that carries with it an element of danger, blurring the line between desire and self-destruction. The protagonist's actions reflect a deeper philosophical truth about the human condition, that sometimes, in seeking to control our desires, we are ultimately controlled by them, leading us into reckless decisions that offer no permanent solution to life's frustrations. Recklessness, as a reaction to the impossibility of fully satisfying desire, provides a philosophical commentary on the limitations of human agency. The protagonist's decision to engage in dangerous behavior, whether through drinking, fighting, or pursuing deadly affection, reveals a subconscious recognition of the lack of control they have over their own life circumstances. The mundane frustrations of daily life, such as late for my job and the traffic was bad or nothing to eat, and no TV, highlight the protagonist's sense of powerlessness. In response, recklessness becomes a way to assert some form of control, even if it is only over their immediate actions and decisions. In this context, recklessness can be understood as both a rebellion against the monotony of life and a futile attempt to escape the inevitability of frustration. In Kiss Me Deadly, Lita Ford captures more than just a rock anthem for the rebellious. Beneath its edgy veneer lies a rich exploration of the cyclical nature of frustration, desire, and recklessness, universal human experiences that mirror deeper existential struggles. Through this triadic lens, the song becomes a philosophical reflection on how, when life's dissatisfactions mount, we often turn to fleeting pleasures and reckless actions to escape. But as Ford's lyrics suggest, these choices only provide momentary relief, pulling us back into a loop of frustration. At its heart, the song confronts the futility of trying to control an uncontrollable world. Frustration emerges from unmet desires and mundane dissatisfactions, driving the protagonist toward impulsive decisions that momentarily seem to offer freedom. Yet, this pursuit of desire, dancing, partying, indulging in recklessness, ultimately exposes the hollowness of those pleasures, leaving the protagonist back where they started. The repetitive refrain, "It ain't no big thing," encapsulates this resignation to life's unrelenting frustrations, as if acknowledging that no escape will ever be permanent. What makes Kiss Me Deadly timeless is its commentary on human nature's complex relationship with desire. Ford's protagonist chases passion and risk not just for the thrill, but as an attempt to regain control in a life filled with chaos. However, the pursuit of danger only underscores the inability to find lasting fulfillment in desire's fleeting moments, reinforcing the existential idea that satisfaction is perpetually elusive. In a broader sense, Ford's song echoes the struggle of living in a world where temporary pleasures serve as distractions from deeper, unresolved frustrations. We seek agency in reckless actions and dangerous choices, but these only trap us in a cycle of transient highs and inevitable lows. Kiss Me Deadly ultimately reveals that rebellion, while powerful, does not liberate us from the fundamental dissatisfaction of existence. Instead, it is simply another stop on the endless loop of desire and frustration, leaving us yearning for meaning in a world where it remains elusive. By engaging with these timeless themes, Ford's anthem transcends its era, offering a raw, unflinching look at the way we navigate the highs and lows of life. It resonates with anyone who has ever felt caught between the pull of desire and the inevitability of frustration, capturing the human condition in all its complexity. So round we go, desire burns bright, but fades again with morning light. In reckless acts we find relief, yet still return to deeper grief. For what we seek we cannot claim, through fleeting passion or reckless aim. But in the search, perhaps we find a mirror to our restless mind.